Lawmakers have begun their new legislative session here in Sacramento. Began today.
My goal is to use this office for the benefit of the people of California. To do that, I aim to work to make it possible for all of you to be successful.
As you hear, applause all around as members of the Assembly and State Senate took their oath of office today. During the inaugural meeting, the Assembly also elected the Speaker and other officers, as well as adopted those House rules. Democratic representatives have supermajorities in both chambers of the California legislature. 60 Democrats joined the Assembly, making up 3/4 of the House's membership. It's the party's largest caucus in the chamber since 1883. In the 40-member Senate, 29 are Democrats. It's the highest number reached only one other time in half a century. This means Democrats will now have, again, supermajorities in both chambers.
CBS 13 political analyst Gary Dietrich joins us now live in the newsroom with what this could mean for the upcoming legislative session. So let's dive in here, Gary. How will Republicans fit in here, and what do you think they can do to make sure their voice is heard?
Well, that is a big challenge because, seriously, guys, with a supermajority that is 2/3 in both houses, it means that the Democrats do not need a single Republican vote to pass anything, be it tax increases, be it emergency measures, anything. So Republicans will try to have their voice. Getting legislation, though, through in a supermajority with the other party, going to be very tough.
So Governor-elect Newsom takes office in January. Other than the slick back hair, the designer coat, the designer suits. Talk about the differences between Governor Brown and Newsom. Things like climate change and the Delta Tunnels project, just to name a couple of them.
Right, and put the bullet train in there too, Tony. I mean, you know, the bullet train, the Delta Tunnels, two of the really big priorities for this governor. Both, frankly, have faced a lot of challenges, and we're not real clear yet about whether Newsom's going to come down and fight for those hard or not. We're going to know a lot more in a couple weeks when he gives his first State of the State address at the beginning of January. He will lay out there his priorities for his entire term, and I expect we're going to hear at that point what he's kind of staking his political capital on.
Gary, kind of piggybacking off of that, we know that some of these things just take a little time to get sorted out in terms of priorities, but there's been a lot of talk about PG&E and the current bill that has now been kind of pushed back to talk about. What do we know about where Gavin Newsom stands on this new bill regarding PG&E and passing on some of these costs, if they're found at fault for wildfires, onto customers? Yeah,
well, this is becoming increasingly important with the costs of wildfires over the last just 12 to 18 months. PG&E and others, insurance companies, have felt tremendous pressure. So you're going to hear a lot about this in the coming session. We've already seen one bill about this. This is so-called PG&E 2 to try to do more to sort of protect the utilities and others from, you know, costs that some say could actually potentially lead to bankruptcy.
And finally, Gary, Kamala Harris coming out today saying she's going to decide over the holidays whether she's going to run in 2020. She's running, right?
I think all indications are now yes, but we have more than 20 people. All right, Hillary Clinton's starting to make noises. Joe Biden has said he's going to tell us after the first of the year. So, guys, within the first 60 to 90 days, right here in California, we're likely to see dozens of these presidential hopefuls, and I suspect that the names we've just talked about, most notably Kamala Harris, is going to be on that list.
So we'll be talking to you a lot, is what you're saying, in the coming months to come.
We look forward to it. All right.
Likewise.
Gary, thanks so much.
Still to come here tonight at 6.